Yo, welcome back to another video. I hope you are good, and if you are somebody who wants to actually guarantee progress this winter, then you are in the right place. So hopefully you can take some value from this and implement it into your own life. So without further ado, why winter matters. When motivation inevitably dips for a lot of people at one point or another, this should be a huge opportunity for you, and this is how you should see things, as an opportunity to actually get ahead, stay consistent, because a lot of people will fold and get too comfortable. Less social distractions, depending. Okay, here in Ireland, I know one thing is for sure: there's always people drinking, whether it's fucking summer, autumn, winter, spring. However, you should view it as an ideal time to build the necessary habits, systems, mindset, and become the person you want to be by next summer. I'll get to the drinking thing a little bit more in a second as well. But what you do now shows in 6, 9, 12 months' time, years down the line, you're stacking wins little by little. And it's an identity thing, okay? If you're not trying to stay the same, then act that way, because if you're ultimately doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, that is literally insanity. Motivation being discipline. So it goes back to what I said a second ago with motivation. It comes and goes. So it's so temporary. And if you're somebody who relies on motivation for progression, you're not going to get very far. Discipline and momentum beats motivation all day, every day. And that's what keeps you moving. Build habits and routines, not quick fixes. Especially these fucking 8-week shred programs that you see online. They will not solve all your problems. I can guarantee you that. Focus on long-term goals, not short-term feelings. Delayed gratification does pay off. I can promise you that. No, you know what? We'll call it corn, no crash diets, avoid drinking for no reason or occasion. So yeah, this is what I'm referring to there. So basically, there'll always be people drinking whatever time of the year it is, but actually only drink if you want to. This is literally so important and kind of goes under the radar. But you can always go somewhere and not drink if you're not really feeling up to it, okay? And what I like to do is drink if there's actually an occasion, okay, or some sort of event that I actually want to go to, okay? Or if I feel like I've earned it, I've had a good month with whatever I'm doing, or I've had a productive few weeks, whatever that means to you. And basically what I've added there is just build that 1% each day. And by the way, going back to the drinking thing, I say only do it when you actually want to, because, I mean, for me personally, I don't know about you, but my hangovers can really pull me back. It feels like at least a couple of days, in terms of productive progression. Actually think about the decisions you're making on a daily basis. This is literally so important to actually be conscious about what you're doing with your time and your habits, and think about the decisions you're making on a consistent basis. Habits, progress, results. So, mindset goals for winter. Strength targets, this can be lifting a certain amount of kilos in the gym, weak point improvements, etc. Performance goals, running, push-ups, pull-ups, sport, powerlifting, etc. Lifestyle goals, this is massive, things like better sleep. Again, something that goes under the radar. This has a knock-on effect to everything, literally. Stress management, improved nutrition, another massive thing that's fundamental in terms of how you feel on a daily basis. Higher confidence in a social setting. This is another thing that, if you notice this, I have a lot of clients who say, I feel more confident in work or in a social setting when I'm going out with friends, stuff like that. That's such a big win. And it's important, like I've said here, not to always focus on the skills or PBs in the gym, because there's a lot of other things to be very happy about in terms of, like I've said here, how you fit in your clothes, strength in the gym, of course, like I said there, but external compliments from other people, okay, energy, confidence, progress pictures. I have some clients as well who they feel like they might not be making progress at a certain time, and then we look at their progress pictures and then they're like, oh shit, no, wait, there's a massive difference, and that's the thing. Sometimes the scales or other factors don't tell the full story, and progress pictures are definitely something at least bi-weekly that you should do, if not every week. Okay, day-to-day energy as well is massive, and that's a huge win also. So ideal winter food hacks: batch cook meals you enjoy, okay, when possible, for work or when you won't be home for a while, example, in a container. Examples include burritos, okay, chili con carne, chicken, pesto, pasta, overnight oats, a stir fry, stuffed peppers, etc. Just a few options for you there. If you DM me on Instagram, I can give you loads more. But yeah, those are kind of some easy ones. I mean, at the end of the day, you can find loads on whether it be Instagram Reels, TikTok. There's so many fucking recipes online nowadays. But those are a few that I kind of think are really convenient and easy. Prep quick snacks as well, so protein bars, boiled eggs, for example, fruit, low calorie crisps, and yes, there are such thing, popcorn, etc. Okay, because ultimately a lot of these things will actually provide some nutritional value and less calories, okay, instead of having, for example, a dairy milk chocolate bar here, or a full tin of Pringles here, and popcorn as well as a really nice option instead of crisps as well. You get a nice amount for less calories. So definitely popcorn, if you're in a fat loss phase, can be useful. Comfort foods can be made high protein too, or switch for higher nutrition index alternatives, still satisfying the craving. So personally, actually, I think it's in the kitchen somewhere, but I literally, before recording this, I had an Avonmore chocolate protein milk. It's about 500 mils. I feel very full right now, honestly, and that kind of satisfies my chocolate craving, because I would say I'm somebody who quite likes chocolate, if anything. We all have that one or two things that we actually crave a little bit more than others, and I definitely am a big chocolate fan. However, I hardly ever actually eat chocolate. Like, genuinely, I barely ever eat it. You can maybe put something like dark chocolate in some Greek yogurt with berries and honey, something like that. Or like I said there, I can have that protein milk, which is making me full, but also satisfying that chocolate craving. And please do not choose Muju. That Avonmore is way more nutritionally beneficial for you instead of a mood juice. So stay hydrated, 2+ liters of water per day if you can. It's very important. Training. Okay, so training, build and progress firstly, right? So stick to the program and progressively overload each week where you can. This is massively important. So this goes into tracking your lifts each week. That's crucial. While also taking form clips to look at the quality of the sets. This is something that I require from all of my clients every week. Minimum 3 form clips, usually like a push, a pull, and a legs, or a core. And I'll look at that basically like this and analyze it like an online personal trainer. And the benefit and the value they get from that over time is massive, because the quality of your training, unless you're looking at it or getting someone else to look at it consistently and actually see how your body is moving, whether you're completing a set to full failure, the intensity, the tempo, the form, how are you going to fully know if you're actually nailing your training, you know? So that's a really important metric to be tracking and looking at on a consistent basis. So yeah, and as I said, progressive overload is only really the way to build muscle. Okay, consistently good beats rarely perfect every time. And when life gets in the way, have a backup home workout like body weight, bands, dumbbells, or a quick hit session, for example, if needed. Even 20-30 minutes is better than nothing. Showing up always counts for a lot more than losing momentum. People think, oh, I might not be able to commit much today, or I only have 60% to give. Give that 60%, because that's 100% of what you can give. You know, some days you'll only have 40. Still give that 40, okay? Because showing up literally stands to you so much. I can't stress that enough, because you can probably think of a time where you've gone off track with your nutrition, or you've missed a couple of sessions, where in reality, if you just showed up and even did a few minutes there, or you, let's say, didn't stick to the best nutritional foods, but you did stick within your calories, that was still showing up in some sense. If you kept that momentum, it would have kept you going on that progressive train. Whereas if you just throw all toys out the pram and completely throw all logic out the window, then that's where momentum is lost. And again, this is the thing, momentum is way more powerful than motivation. So even when you're not motivated, showing up in some capacity continues that momentum. It's literally a game changer and a cheat code, I promise you that. Use the 1 or 2 step method if needed, or the MyReps method, but don't overuse them either. So this is something I speak about in my progressive overload video, which you can probably scroll back on YouTube. But the 1 or 2 step method, for example, when you're going into the gym, doing 1 or 2 sets per movement, so it's cutting your session potentially 15-20 minutes, shaving off that time from the session. Or if you're doing 1 hard set followed by MyReps, again, that would probably take you half an hour in the gym max. These are small methods, just don't overuse them. But yeah, these are things you can do in terms of less volume, but trying to progress at the same time. So 20 to 30 minutes in the gym, let's say 1 set per movement, because that's all it should really take. It shouldn't take you longer than 30 anyway, but make sure that that's progression. So for example, last week you were doing 2 or 3 sets of 50 kg on the row, and today you have barely any time, so you're doing 1 set per movement. Again, don't overuse this, but you go in and you do 1 set of 55 or 60, and that's it, and you move on to the next exercise. That's what I mean by that. So the 1 or 2 set method, or the MyReps method, is a good thing to do if really limited on time. But as I said, don't go overkill on that. Lifestyle habits. Okay, so sleep, of course, has a knock-on effect. Everything, like I said, 7 to 9 hours. This should be an absolute priority. Okay, sleep is literally, I would say, one of the most, if not the most important thing to drive progression across the whole board. Okay, keep daily routine consistent throughout the season, as this will maintain momentum. And as you can see, I'm pretty big on momentum, which beats motivation every time. Okay, I will not stress this enough. It's literally something I always try and remind clients of, and myself. Okay, stress management, walks, journaling, mindfulness, recovery sessions, meeting a friend, listening to music, morning coffee. All of these things are literally fucking happiness, man. Like, honestly, if you're stressed, I understand, because I've literally gone self-employed the last year. I've had stressful times in the past 12 months, and you know, there's been ups and downs, mainly ups, but during those downs where you are a bit more stressed, literally going for a little spin with one of your best friends, or going doing an ice bath and sauna, writing down your thoughts on a journal, going for walks, listening to a podcast or songs you enjoy. Like I've said here, listening to music, just don't listen to like really fucking sad songs all the time, because that will impact your mood negatively, trust me. And morning coffee, things like that. Just find joy in the small things, and something that can actually take your mind away from the stress. For example, I try to play paddle. I've been pretty successful with this the last few months, once a week, if not twice if I can. That's 1 hour of playing paddle tennis with 3 friends, where I literally do not think about anything else. It's crazy. Something as small as that, you do not think about anything else, and it takes a lot of stress away, especially for that hour in particular. Vitamin D supplementation, especially if you're living in the UK or Ireland, this is fucking crucial. The one I take is called Vitamin K2, with the vitamin D oral spray version. So it absorbs better with the oral spray version, and vitamin K2 allows it to absorb better into the system again. So that's the one I recommend. It comes with, so basically 1 spray is 3,000 IUs, which is actually really good. I take 2 sprays a day. I also take a probiotic in the morning before I've had food, for gut health. and also creatine as well, about 7 to 8 grams for myself. Okay, so action plan. Focus on the winter goal which makes sense for you and commit to it. Okay, so whether that's a fat loss phase for you, a performance goal, a gaining phase, a body recomp, etc., whatever that phase is for you, and you should know, by the way, and physique is all about phases. Commit to that. Okay, don't be going into a cut and 2 weeks later think, oh fucking no, let's go into a bulk, or the other way around, start a bulk and then 2 weeks later you're like, oh, I need to cut. You need to commit to one fucking phase, man. I literally cannot emphasize that enough. Have 1 to 2 staple meals each day. Like for me, I have a bagel and eggs every single morning, and I always have some sort of chicken or meat with a carb source in the afternoon for lunch. Usually dinner is kind of just freestyle, whatever I'm feeling on the day. But having that 1 or 2 staple meals a day, and I have a snack every day of that Avonmore protein milk that I was speaking about, and pineapple slices, that's a snack I have every day as well. So just those 2 or 3 things that I know I'm going to be having every day provides me a lot more nutritional structure. As I said, dinner changes most days, but those couple of staples really are a game changer. Stick to your program regardless of obstacles, and remember the vision you have for yourself. Review progress pictures weekly and make the right adjustments at the right times. Again, physique development is all about the right phases and making adjustments when it makes sense at the right times. This is why obviously online coaching is something I'm really passionate about, because it's not just a fucking program. Okay, you're actually coaching people through phases and making adjustments on what makes sense for the individual, so it's all tailored. Okay, and if you aren't really sure about that, I'll get to that in a second. Don't lose sight and keep on showing up, okay? So like I said there, if you do want to chat about a roadmap assessment that would suit you down to a T, free of charge, DM me TPM on Instagram, or just fill out the short form below this video and I can just contact you from there. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching throughout this full video. Subscribe if you are new, I would massively appreciate. Like the video as well. And I'll chat to you in the next one.